Men have got so much testosterone, they don't need to cultivate boundaries. It's happening to them every minute of every day because their operating system is testosterone. So, in order for his daughters to contrast to his son's masculinity, God only gave us the smallest bit of testosterone. Instead, he loaded our body up with estrogen. Our processing is the opposite system of everything that's collected and focused and linear. We think holistically, and that allows us to gather and process information from multiple sources simultaneously. We're not like the linear focus of men because we're tuned into every aspect of whatever environment we're in. This approach is completely fluid and always receiving data. We're always sensing something. We can't not always be feeling the atmosphere. All these traits give us a comprehensive understanding of our surroundings. That's the natural state of estrogen, and we've got a lot of it. It's what makes us more empathic. It's what has us always looking for connection and being open to attachment. However, all that fluid openness, pliability, and adaptability and sensitivity are precisely what puts our femininity in danger. Without boundary training, we are unsafe, unprotected, and unguarded. Boundaries keep us safe in relationships. They stop us from being taken advantage of and being bullied. Even in marriage, we can be bullied by masculinity if it's untaught and untrained when it comes to femininity. Without the boundary of taking responsibility, we risk becoming the gullible, naive woman from 2 Timothy 3, verse 6. With all that complexity going on inside of us, boundaries can become complicated, and even more so when you set them up as something that you're entitled to. Taking responsibility for them is not just how we honor God, although that would be enough, but by taking ownership of all the features of your femininity, that's how you can streamline them into that one straightforward and transparent boundary called stewardship. As I wrap up this video, there's one more thing that I want you to consider about the two different perspectives. When we approach boundaries as rights, we're basing that in fear, and that's why you have to have so many of them. When you approach boundaries as your right, they're a defensive state. This is what fear-based boundaries might sound like. I have the right to my own needs and feelings and to have them be as important as anyone else's. I have the right to be treated with dignity and respect by everyone I come into contact with. I have the right to change myself, my behaviors, my values, and my life situation. Remember, I'm not saying they aren't true. I'm saying that as a believer, unless you've factored God into the paradigm, the motive will be wrong because they're based in fear. Without God, boundaries can only begin and end with you. That's why the world sees them as rights that need to be defended. But when you see that all your rights and freedoms actually belong to God, and that your one responsibility is to seek his kingdom first, Matthew 6:33, that changes the position you orient from. Then boundaries become a responsibility that's based in love. They're a response to God that another person gets to experience from the effect of your relationship with him. It's not about seeking whiffery first. Marriage is a temporary representation. God is the eternal kingdom, and your response is to seek him first. God made you accountable to him for who he created you to be. You're not accountable for the weight of your brother, nor are you responsible to steward his gifts, skills, and talents. And you're not obligated to his heavenly Father for him. Defining your rights by putting up boundaries or trying to fix broken walls or build better new ones will not give you governing power over your own spirit. That's backwards thinking. The broken down city without walls is because there's a lack of responsible stewardship. Ruling your own feminine spirit is how those broken down walls will organically erect themselves to protect you. Earlier, I shared a few examples of what worldly boundaries might sound like. This was the first one. I have the right to my own needs and feelings and have them be as important as anyone else's. That's very different than saying, I'm responsible to own how I feel and for the stewardship of my emotions. And that means I'm responsible for accurately understanding why I have them and how I'm experiencing them and where they're coming from inside of me. It's up to me to understand myself and to express myself in ways that honor God so that they'll benefit me and others. Another one I shared was, I have the right to decide how to spend my own time. That's a different perspective than knowing God is the one who gave you every second of your life. And when you're seeking His kingdom first, your perspective will sound like, I have the responsibility to steward the time that He has given me. It doesn't belong to me. I said we'd get back to the pain indicators, and here we are. In all those examples I shared with you earlier, those feelings of being exhausted and drained, frustrated, anxious and insecure, confused and lonely, that's the pain that shows us that we're collapsing in on ourselves instead of stewarding the talents that God has given us.